Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for some more Legal Ads Season 15 action. Surprise, surprise, it's group stage once again. And once again here for some Chambers of Nova gameplay. They are taking on old Bloosher, who, again, that is a a name I will analyze later in the draft. Actually, I'll analyze it right now, after I introduce the players. On the Radiant side, of course, Chambers of Nova. Uh, Out of game, captained by Scroomlight. Technically, he's drafting this game as well, so maybe Jim's busy doing something else. Usually, Jim is the in-game captain. He's certainly the shot caller. He's Rook, aka Jim, aka Strawberry Shark, aka Slash the Sea Lion 62, aka South 37. Normally, he's in-game drafting. Apparently, Scroom is pressing the buttons tonight. In the carry, of course, his brother, Andy Bendy, who had a fantastic series last night, playing the Arc Warden and playing the Meepo. In the mid lane will be Sev, longtime lads stalwart Sev there. And then playing the force support is Keelan, who's currently tagged up as Bitch I'm Taylor Swift for I don't exactly know why. He's tagged up as such. On the dire side, it's old Bloosher. Captains, out of game by Ice Yeti. Seems like we've got Rice Boy drafting for this team, though. We got Yeti on the carry, Rice Boy playing the mid. Pishja tagged up as Peepo playing the offlane, then support duo of Bunions, aka Buying Onions, and Patience, who's tagged up as Bombaklava. Sorry, I had to go through that one. I have, of course, analyzed the names before in terms of Nova. It's a double entendre involving Nova, Sev's dog, and Chambers of Zarek, the RuneScape raid. On the dire side, though, old Bloosher, it is a bit of a double entendre, partially because, again, you look at the picture, it's kind of like an old Bloosher Pepe the Frog. Looks quite old, but it's also the old Bloosher lineup from approximately 2021, more like a 2022 lineup if we're being precise, where this exact lineup, Yeti, Rice Boy, Pastia, Bunyan's, Patience, they have run lads before. They did quite decently, so they're running the back here. We do enjoy running it back in this league, of course. I may have gone a little too early, a little too hard. For whatever reason, my voice is a little shot recently, so it's probably the spring allergies. Spring allergies do not treat me well. Might go a little bit soft tonight. Might take it a little bit easy. It's funny I mentioned Andy Bendy playing a strong Arc Warden plus Meepo series. Second base bans from Rice Boy. Arc Warden into Meepo. Like, you're right, Andy. We know you're good. We know you want to play a lot of heroes. We prefer you playing heroes that are less degenerate than Arc Warden and Meepo. Looking otherwise at the bans again, a lot of respect bans going on though. They ban out Hoodwink. That's a Keelan classic. They ban out Furion, aka Nature's Prophet, a Gym classic. They ban out Dragon Knight, which again just makes sense for this team with the way these players play. And looking at Radiant bans again, Nyx, Disruptor, Timbersaw, Shadow Demon, Lifestealer, mostly sticking it to the meta with those bans. Although, again, if looking specifically at Nyx, that's definitely a more respect-oriented ban. I guess they're all arguably respect bans, but you know, I would argue the Radiant bans are more meta-oriented than the Dire bans. Dire is like, you know what? You play these heroes. These heroes are weenies. We don't want to play against them. Get them out of here. You know what? I respect that. I respect that immensely. Looking over at picks, we got a first pick Tiny from Bloosher. Again, a very standard hero. A hero that's been in the meta for the greater part of a decade now. More than that, a decade and a half even, going back in the Dota 1. Like, this hero's been fairly consistently good. Although, of course, the way this hero has been played has changed over the years. You know, traditionally, you know, sort of like Blink Dagger, Arcane Boots, mid laner. then turns carry hero, then turns support hero, who's now getting some more playtime back in the mid lane, Blink Arcanes. It all goes full circle, but likely will be a support hero played by Bunnings if I had to guess for Bloosher. Chambers responded with Dark Willow. A hero that Keelan has been playing a pretty decent bit of. I'm sure if Jim wants to flex it, he can play the Dark Willow as well. Speaking of flex, it is Kunkka, likely going to be the offlane hero for Streamlight, but I know Sev has played it in the past. I don't know if he plays it in the present, but we shall see there. Response was the Enchantress, likely the Patience selection. The follow-up there is the Razor, again, very much a... how do I put it? Very much in meta core right now, this Razor hero. You know, possibly in the off lane, possibly in the safe lane. Could even be mid lane if they really feel the matchup there, but probably a side lane core, just given that Razor tends to do better in the side lanes, given the geometry and the dimensions, and mostly the distance between towers, where Razor can, you know, move around. Having distance is nice. Mid lane is just simply less distance for it. The response is Dazzled. Again, bit of a flex, but I'm suspecting it is the 5 support for Jim. It's a very high skill ceiling 5 support hero, which makes a lot of sense for the way that Jim enjoys playing in these leagues. But it is still flexible. I don't think Sev actually plays it mid that much, but we shall see. The response, or not, it's actually the response, but the follow-up pick is that Windrunner, which again, a lot of flexibility. It's seeming more and more like potentially Kunkka offlane, Dazzle Willow Sups, Windrunner carry. But you know, it really could go a number of different directions, so depending on how you feel about the lanes. Radiant do have the 24 pick, so they can say, you know what, we don't like this Razor lane. Once you determine where Razor is from the 23 pick, we'll go and do something else. We'll put the Windrunner off lane. We'll put the Kunkka mid. We'll do however we want to do it. Going to pour some water, 1 second. Alright, poured from my water flask to my water glass. If you're on Twitch, you did not hear that. If you're watching in game with my audio on, my apologies for the running water sounds. But it is good to be hydrated, of course. 18 pick was the Weaver, which is an Ice Yeti classic. It is a certified Ice Yeti classic. He's been playing this hero since... I don't even know how long. It's as long as I've known him, he's been playing this hero. Like, you think Yeti classics, Weaver is just one of them. And, of course, now that Weaver's starting to become more than a dead hero, Yeti, of course, happy to pounce on that one, play the hero he's comfortable playing, that he has been playing in leagues for many, many a year now.
10 seconds remaining.
Which means we're likely going to see a 23 pick mid. Radiant are banning accordingly. They banned out OD. They banned out PB. PB is a flex in nature. Bloosher aren't sure yet. They banned out Pangolier, which just team plays mid, and they banned out Morphling, which is obviously the carry selection. So they're not quite sure what Chambers of Nova want yet with their last hero. They're thinking maybe it is a wind carry. They're thinking maybe it is a wind mid. We don't know yet. We think it's Kunkka offlane, apparently. And apparently, Yeti is fine playing that Weaver Kunkka matchup. It seems fine for the Weaver, of course. Especially once you start getting more and more levels in the Weaver. But Kunkka, not the easiest hero to force out. A lot of base HP. Likes to buy bracers. Sure, Weaver might win that lane, but Kunkka should get a decent bit out of it. Unless the edge of patience just pops off. And then you start playing that lane. Whoa there! That's an Earth Spirit. I suspect it is a mid lane Earth Spirit, Breezy R style. And the snap pick response is Alchemist, so I am really curious to see where these heroes go. I think I was correct there with the Earth Spirit one. Alchemist, it will be a carry selection from Froggy2 Demon Dog, aka Andy Bendy. So we'll end up seeing this Alchemist Dazzle lane. A lot of interesting minus armor situation going on there. We have the Alchemist, the concoction damage with the sort of acid spray minus armor, and the dazzle poison touch, again, more physical damage spells. Interesting lane dynamic there. Playing it into Razor and Tiny might not be the greatest, though. Obviously, if you can catch an isolated Razor, that dude's mincemeat, but if Razor and Tiny are playing the lane properly, it's going to be a strong Razor-Tiny combination. You always have that toss-away play if things go wrong. Avalanche as well, a nice spell to have in the lane, but it is Piston and Bunions, despite being a very strong off-lane duo, are playing the most coordinated safe lane duo in the league. It's the notorious Andy Bendy Jim lane. I mean, these two are twins. They play a lot of video games together, including Dota, including League, including many a game. You know, they popped up, load up predecessor, popped off in that game too, because why not? So that's the lane to watch there. This Radiant side, the safe lane, the bottom lane, the Alk Dazzle into Razor Tiny. I suspect that Tiny will want to cut the waves, but Dazzle is notoriously good at countering out that style of Dota 2, where you have the poison touch and you keep on hitting and you refresh the duration of the debuff, and hypothetically you can go 100-0 with just that one spell worth of damage with the right click extending it. So again, Jim being one of, if not just outright the best 5 player in the league. Actually, I should rephrase. He is outright the best 5 player in the league, so he will know how to play this lane very well. So should be fun to see what ends up happening here. We are now loaded out into the game, of course. Radiance smoked up as 5 immediately. GLs from Radiant, no GLs from Dire. I have nobody muted, right? Yeah, I got nobody muted. I think they've reworked the, oh. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I was curious to see if the mute system, I think they changed it again, the mute system on the caster UI, but I digress. Jim already breaks the smoke. Bunyan's wards. Jim instantly dewards. So notice, he is putting this ward here to scout for this cutting sort of play. Jim, being Jim, goes there, breaks the smoke, sees him place the ward, gets the D-ward, and has his own counter-cutting ward. So now if he sees Tiny moving this direction, in this area, he has a good idea. Now Andy is in the vanguard, way in the front, killing some trees, looking to perhaps play the sentry ward. Perhaps get a good angle if they invade. And again, we saw Dire. They were here in my circles, but instead, he was a setup there on Andy Bendy, ready to tank some damage if needed, with a lot of backup behind him. They're still playing 4 here. It's Willow, Kunkka, and Dazzle in the bottom lane. Sev is a little further now towards the runes. And I think it might end up being 3 runes to the side of old Bloosher. Again, Sev could have went for the bold play, but looking at Radiant Vision, they don't know that much. They see a hero here, but other than that, there were 4 missing. That's a risky play for Sev. Sev goes for the conservative option, does not take the risk, ends up giving up the rune, which means it will be 3 runes to the side of old Bloosher. I haven't read the Crownfall comic yet, so I don't really know what that means, but I mean, Patience will probably be spamming it all series, knowing him, so... So, if the name Queen Imperia means something to you, then that is something that will be in the chat to the end of time, I suppose. Bottom lane, Link from Pish just deals 17 damage. Of course, level 1 Link, not the highest damage steal in the world. It's level 2. Nice little spike there from that 5 drain rate to that 10 drain rate. Courier from Jim goes down. Bunions grabs that one. Throws the tree at Jim for whatever reason. Mid lane, it's Windrunner or Spirit. Sounds like a pretty even lane to me. I don't actually know. I'm going to assume it's even. If action happens there, I'll try to catch it. Top lane, Willow Kunkka taking on Weaver Ench. Seems pretty alright for the Weaver. He's ahead in CS so far, but again, not really a big advantage either way so far. I'm looking back at bottom. Bottom's where the fun is. Bunions, he's hitting, he's slapping. Andy gets the last hit against 2! Whoa, that's a huge last hit. It's not worth that much gold or experience, but the morale victory for Andy Bendy is immense. Like, if you're Andy, you're feeling so good, like, man, I'm so good at Dota. Look at me. I've pressed my my attack key properly and my stop key properly, I have outplayed two very strong offlane duo players. That's the way that I'd be thinking if I were playing the Alk right now. I don't think Andy is emotionally in the state where he needs that morale win, but every morale win counts. Torrent misses from Scroomlight. Yeti wanted the Shikuchi in, get that range creep lasted. Ends up doing it a little bit too late, though. The deny came out from Scroom on the Kunkka. Back to bottom lane, Concoction channeled by Mr. Andy Bendy. Pistia actually had a pretty interesting juke there to get away from the Concoction. Ends up tanking a ton of damage anyways. Pistia's still linking, got 31 damage. So Radiant won the trade HP-wise. Jim is still hitting. There's no kill, but again, look at the damage. Look at the damage. It's sizable. It is palpable. You can feel it through your screen, through your headphones. Look at the damage. Razor is not a happy man. He's got no regen, 9 stick charges. He's baiting right now, possibly a concoction throw from Mr. Bendy. But for now, no crazy play there.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Courier mid lane goes, huh. How did that go down? I don't entirely know how it went down, but it did go down, so... Courier dead, grabbed by Sev. Perhaps Rice Blade is a little bit too far forward. And then Sev just right-clicked it down twice. Either way, I'm looking again at this interesting lane bottom. Top lane seems like something's brewing there as well. Back to bottom. Concoction and Avalanche are traded. Which makes sense from Bunyan. Just get away from that possible full Dazzle Alk combination. Just break it up there, because the combo is a lot stronger together with all of the spells, with the Acid Spray, with the Concoction, with the Poison Touch. Speaking of Poison Touch, it's there on Pistia, but not on Bunyan's. Jim looks to hit. Pistia plays the trees. He's still running. He's got the stick ready to go. Jim refreshed the duration. There's no toss, though, from Bunyan's, and Radiant knew it. Blood Grenade forward. Concoction channel again used onto the Tiny. Pistia tries to play defense, but Bunyan certainly will go down. First blood goes to Froggy to Demon Dog. aka Andy Bendy. Radiant glyph there creeps, looking up against Pistia. One more blood grenade. The Poison Touch. Pistia, you're going to the grave. Double kill for Andy Bendy on the Carry Alchemist. And that is exactly what you want there for the Alchemist. Look at Jim. He denies to the tower before anybody returns to the bottom lane, so that way no experience goes back. He's just so good. Meanwhile, top lane, Keelan is quite low as well. Scroomlight still plays a bit of the fight right now. He's taking a lot of right clicks. The bug is finally off him. Shikuchi dive. Down goes Scroomlight. Moves to Keelan. Keelan goes down. So both safe lanes are having a grand old time right now. Yeti dies to the tower. I don't think Sev got the XP. He's TPing anyways, looking to bring down Patience. Patience is level 4. Shackle latches with range creep. Power shot forward. Patience is healing. I don't think Sev can get this kill. He needs at least one more power shot, and well, that's on cooldown, because that's how cooldowns work. So a failed rotation from Sev. Patience, give him a little all chat line, don't be mad, and well, perhaps he's a little bit mad right now, but what can you do sometimes? Add 1 to your... If you've been keeping the season long, what can you do counter? Add 2 to it, actually. It is indeed my favorite silly phrase. Shackle into Torrent. They will want to bring down the Enchantress, and they will do so between the Kunkka and the Sev Windrunner. So, notice Jim goes mid lane. He knows Sev is not there. Says, you know what? I can get experience on this Dazzle. Dazzle is a very experienced Starve support. Loves to get his XP. And he's getting it right now. Near the level 5. Keelan even rotates in. A bit of an interesting orientation between these Radiant heroes. Putting both subs mid to play them in a 6 rune. The rune spawns top. Sev grabs it. Mega has been used by Rice Blade. Kick forward on the Keelan. Keelan still half HP. Has 4 stick charges. TP in by the Tiny. Bunions wants to do something. He's got a little bit of everything to work with. A 1-1-1 skill build. Tree toss forward, hits Keelan. But so far the damage is simply lacking. Poison Touch onto Focus Fire from Sev is there on, I believe, the Earth Spirit. Down goes Bunions. And they're going to bring down Rice Boy as well. 2 kills for the side of the Chambers of Nova Radiant side. There's a spam bot in my chat. I have banned them. And now we're looking at the minute 7 Wisdom Runes right now. In the bottom lane, Pistio links up Andy Bendy. Andy Bendy will rotate far to the north for the Wisdom Rune. To the west side, Wisdom Rune. Patience is there. Radiant have scanned both Wisdom Runes. At that, Patience will tank a torrent. He will not get the Wisdom Rune. Keelan secures it. Patience will look to get a kill, but it probably will not matter. Should be a kill against Patience. Shadow Realm has been used. Meanwhile, Andy Bendy grabbed the other Wisdom Rune, so Radiant secure both Wisdom Runes. They'll kill the Enchantress, it appears. Down goes Patience. The kill goes to Keelan. Look at the everything. The net worth lead, the XP lead, the kill lead. It's all the direction of Chambers of Nova. They do say purple is the color of victory. And that is the color that Radiant want. That's a triple on Chandra if you're curious. So if you can get the other two, then by all means, you are the reference master. We are seeing a bit of an interaction between Sev and Riceboy in the dire side jungle. They're fighting over the creep. Magnetize once again is there from Riceboy. Sev's down to 1/3 HP. He'll grab the Ilrune, purging off the Magnetize. What can you do sometimes? Power shot hits the Enchantress, misses Riceboy. Sev will die to the Enchantress damage. Kick was there on top of the corpse, and now it's an avalanche on Keelan. Keelan's looking to duke things out. Bunions has tossed if he wants to use it. Roll forward, misses from Riceboy. He'll toss forward a Centaur creep into the neutral Centaur stomp. Good coordination between the dire side supports to bring down the Dark Willow. Double kill for Patience on the Enchantress. And again, strong showing from both sides, where even though Chambers of Nova have gotten a lot of what they're looking for, Bloosher are not the sort of team to go down easily. They're here to play Dota 2. And as a commentator, you love to see teams playing Dota 2. Andy Bendy makes the best out of a rough situation. Wanted to channel the concoction further, realized that Pishtu was in the tree, decided to use it on himself to last it. I shouldn't say use on himself more, just happened to be on himself, but still. That is Dota 2 for you sometimes. Looking over hero net worth, it's Alchemist on top, which again, for those who are less familiar with Dota, less familiar with the Alchemist, this is going to happen again. You look at this this Grievel's Greed, it generates additional gold. It isn't an inflationary sort of measure, which again gives you more gold than you normally would expect on a given hero. So, in a sense, this lead that Radiant have is less than it seems. Let's just say that Alchemist is a normal hero. You probably have like more like 4,500 gold, and again, as a result, it'd be, if anything, it'd be a lead for the Dire at that point. So, you think about Dota 2 in that sense. It's like, wait a minute, the numbers seem a little bit off. Top lane, Riceboy rotates in. He'll magnetize looking for Scroomlight. Scroomlight's half HP. Defensive brambles have been used by Keelan. Boat forward. Torrent on the Earth Spirit. Now Riceboy's also half HP. Scroomlight's trying to stay alive. I don't think he can. Jim has rotated in, has a level 2 heal, but no grave. One more magnetized boulder comes through, and that will be the death of the Kunkka. Riceboy's now looking to survive. He'll roll, but it's tanked by Keelan. Keelan's incredibly low. Riceboy's incredibly low. Sev rotates in, and down goes Riceboy. It's a 1-for-1 core trade. Earth Spirit for Kunkka, relatively even for both sides. And again, we are at this this very active game state right now. Both teams very happy to play the up-tempo Dota, get involved in these 4v4, 4v3 sort of fights. And both teams, again, are pretty okay with the way it's turning out. Of course, Alchemist, the net worth hegemon right now, will maintain his #1 net worth spot. He will accelerate, but in exchange, you have Tiny getting XP mid lane. You've got Razor getting some stuff bottom lane. Speaking of Razor, he'll go in for Alchemist. Alchemist will defensively concoction, toss it on Pisher to break the link. He did steal 34 damage because, you know, it is a level, actually only level 2 link. So again, he's going for the, I believe it is the meta standard build here, the 4-2-1 build. Though I'm not super up on Razor builds, to be honest. And he's looking to play actively bottom, so is Andy. They're looking to play with each other. He'll self-stun, roll forward by Rice Boy, plasma field in the blood grenade. Alchemist is half HP. He's trying to survive. He's backed up by Dazzle and will terrorize. It's both. Perfect from Keelan at the very edge on both Earth Spirit and the Razor. Rice Boy, again, has his roll tanked by Keelan. A great play from Keelan. Correction, multiple great plays and one great fight from Keelan on that Dark Willow.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's a beautifully executed team fight from the Willow, and again, it's a great save there for the Alchemist. That's what you want there. If you're Chambers of Nova, it's keep your Alch alive. He's 2, 0, and 1, and you want the non-death numbers to go up and the death number to stay at 0 for as long as possible. That's for damn sure. Again, there is some kind of fight brewing mid, surely. How the fight will break out, we're not entirely sure yet, but again, the heroes, they're starting to congregate mid on both sides. They're playing in the area. Seems like that's where the fun's going to happen, though. Seems like the fun will not happen quite yet. We're seeing a little bit of dispersal going on. They're going back to the jungle. They're going back to the other lanes. Speaking of other lanes, look towards that top lane area. Ice Yeti, the opposing carry to the Alchemist, playing this Weaver hero, the Ice Yeti Classic. Correction, one of the Ice Yeti Classics. He's farming pretty well. He's got that Maelstrom, headed for a BKB. So again, relatively battle build. Mid lane, roll forward, kick onto Sev. Sev will attempt the TP away, but it will not work. The cooldown on roll was just too low. As a result, Sev is dead. Avalanche from Bunions, and the Tiny secures that last hits. Yeah, I'm not sure if Sev just didn't know the math there on that one, but he got punished regardless. And now Dire will begin their siege of the mid T1 tower anew. Blink in by Bunions, tossing away Keelan. The kick as well, and the TP, again, will not work from Keelan. Roll misses thanks to the juke. Terrorize on 2. Actually, only 1 hits the Tiny. We got a pause from Andy Bendy. I agree, Patience. It's just not fair. I was in the middle of a team fight rhythm. We got a mouse issue. Whose mouse it is? I probably could ask them. I have their team Discord, but regardless, it is someone's mouse issue. I'm assuming one of the heroes fighting mid, or else it probably could have waited. Regardless, the fight resumes. Keelan's in a lot of danger. He'll end up using the Bedlam, Magnetize from Rice Boy. Rice Boy's 1/3 HP. Jim's looking to hit him, but now Jim has to run away on that Dazzle. He's half HP and has to run away. So it's 2 kills, 1 on the wind, 1 on the Willow. And it may just end up resulting in that mid T1 dying. But again, you have Dazzle laying defense in the rear guard of the team fight. Simply, ooh, not dying! Oh my! Good power shot from Sev. Nearly got the kill thanks to that poison touch damage. But it'll end up being fine. Oh no! Another power shot! But it's still, it's going to require Scroomlight to finish the kill. The X marked the boat. That does the job. Took a long time and a lot of heroes to kill the Earth Spirit, but eventually he went down. Good kill there from Chambers of Nova. And it is that 3,000 net worth lead, but again, a lot of that 3k, if not all that 3k, is the Alchemist factor. Speaking of Alchemist, haven't looked at him in a hot minute. He's acquired a full Radiance, because that's Alchemist for you. He is actually playing the Dire sort of top jungle area now. Now TP's mid, so he's moving around constantly. He's not willing to stay in one spot. Just wants to avoid any of these Dire ganks. Speaking of Dire ganks, they're bottom, looking for Scroomlight. Roll forward by Rice Boy, kicks him towards Fistja. So again, the coordination from Bloosher. They're a well-oiled machine. You see it work bottom lane to great effect to bring down this Gunka of Scroomlights. And now again, they've already done significant damage to the mid tower. But instead, they'll work on that bot tower. They run into Keelan. Keelan gets the D-Ward, roll forward, finds Dark Willow. Dark Willow has Shallow Realm. She'll use it. And at this point, it's a 2-man Bramble as well. Keelan will use the death before dying. Andy Bendy has Concoction, hits it on the Rice Boy. Rice Boy's about a quarter HP, and now he's dead. They'll now move perhaps to Yeti. Yeti will Shikuchi forward. Grave has been used on himself by the Dazzle. Sev rotates in, focus firing Ice Yeti. Time-lapse is on cooldown. Concoction hits, but Yeti is invis. The detection simply was not there. Power shot hits Bunions anyways. Boat misses from Scroomlight. Andy Benny's being kited around. Meanwhile, we see a fight between Pishka and Sev. Sev will shackle the Razor, and now it's Dyer who use a pause. So both teams will pause mid-fights. This time it's a crash, not a mouse issue. Apparently Sev's also restarting, so if you're a fan of pausing, oh boy, you're in the right place, because we get two for the price of one. You pay for one pause, you get two. I'm losing it mentally, clearly. Clearly losing it mentally right now, but it's okay. Going to pour some more water, 1 second. Definitely going to need to grab some more water in between games. I've exhausted my entire water flask nearly, which is never a great sign when it's only minute 16. And in Chambers of Nova, you look at their last series, I believe one game went over 60 minutes. The other one went like 58 minutes, so it was a very long series. And if this game goes to minute 60, I might run out of water, which is, again, not good. I guess I have time to open up the scoreboard, because, you know, we're just here. We're just here. Razor almost certainly will end up dying here. Looking at the other Dire heroes, they're either dead or they're getting the hell out of here. Keelan's TPing in, and we have resumed. There certainly will be a dead Razor. Concoction has been used. Razor's a quarter HP. Power shot misses badly, but it's not going to matter. He'll bring down Pishka anyways. Scroomlight and McCunka secures the kill. I believe that is a Radiant-sided teamfight win, though, again, this tower bottom was cracked, so it's probably a relatively even fight. Radiance did come out ahead on kill gold, but if you throw in that tower gold, it's about even either way. We have a graph. If you care about the graphs, all three lines are Radiant favored, gold ahead, XP ahead, win probability apparently 68% according to the proprietary Dota AI. So again, 2/3 chance, not particularly terrible for Chambers of Nova, but if you're a Bloosher fan, there's still plenty of reason to have hope. Especially once Yeti acquires that BKB on the Weaver, he's not very far from it. Meanwhile, in the river, you see Dyer jump Sev, terrorize, hits the Earth Spirit, but not the Tiny. Curse Crown on Tiny. Roll forward, nearly finds Sev in the silence into the right clicks from Enchanter to secure the kill. So again, they've once again found Sev. He's now dead for the third time this game. Andy Bendy's looking to fight, goes in for patience, but that untouchable passive makes this real hard. Bedlam was used on the Alchemist. At this point, they're just trying to kill the Ench. It's not going all that well, but at this point, they've left the Ench to die, and die she shall. It is a 1-for-1 win for Ench trade. Surely it is good for the side of Bloosher, but I'm sure it's not that significant of a win either way. So what is that Mr. Andy Bendy is buying? Is that an Aghanims he's buying? It will be. He's missing a component, I think, though. Unless there's a blade in his inventory. There is. Okay, so it's going to be a full Aghanim Scepter. The question then becomes, who will he give the Ags to? He'll give it to Dazzle. Oh, that's powerful. Look at this Dazzle Ags. You see a number of these core Dazzles. Hold that thought. Mid lane. They jump against Sev once again. Grave comes in from Jim. Focus fire on Bunions. Bunions to fall. The trade for Sev. Keelan's fighting at Rice Boy. Rice Boy's low. Keelan's low. Jim looks to fight. He's got that Shadow Wave Hags doing so much damage. Rice Boy has to TP all the way to Fountain just to stay alive. It'll end up being a 1-for-1. Again, Jim, he's ready to go. Look at this Shadow Wave damage. It's going to be absolutely massive. Blink forward by Andy Bendy. In comes the Shadow Wave. The kill is secured by Jim. So it's a 2-for-1. Kills in favor of the Radiant side. They'll also crack that mid T1 tower. So again, both blood-wise and mortar-wise, it is a win for the Radiant side. The lead begins to extend, and they're looking to capitalize on this very powerful Alchemist. Rice Boy rolls in, looks for healing, but finds way too many Radiant heroes across the river. They've found Rice Boy. He'll attempt to roll to the east. It's blocked by Scroomlight. That will be a kill. Secured by Keelan's Dark Willow. And it's spoken about Sev dying, but on the flip side, Rice Boy also has been dying a lot. He's up to 6 deaths now on that Earth Spirit, which certainly is not ideal for your mid laner, but it is what it is sometimes. I'm looking around at items. I don't see anything, wait a minute. That's a phylactery on Tiny. A little surprised he's going for a straight phylactery right away. It indicates he thinks he is going to be a big part of this late game damage. They've gone in for Alk. Alk is still on the run. He's backed up by Dazzle. The Grave arrives. Rice Boy rolls forward. Scroomlight backed up the Alk as well. Alk will have Razor brought away from him. The boat will arrive to bring down the Razor. Roll. Misses from Rice Boy. And now these dire heroes are dying. Bunyan's jukes things out. Patience will not be so lucky. That's 2 kills. And again, it was a decent idea to jump on the Alchemist when he was that far away from his team, but between the natural tankiness of the Alchemist and the great response time by his brother, Jim on the Dazzle, you just cannot secure that kill, and they want a 3rd kill again. They want to bring down the Earth Spirit. X mark. Will end up being dodged thanks to the roll. You got a bit of invulnerability state there to keep him alive. Shackle latches anyways. Focus fire as well. Rolls interrupted by the torrents. The Rice Boys still half HP. That blade nail dissuaded Sev from hitting. Meanwhile, Bunions in the Radiant jungle solo kills Keelan. Caught him on the bounty rune. Saw him getting a little bit greedy, and with that tiny damage, it was a solo kill. I was mentioning the tiny itemization. You see a lot of these, more supportive-oriented tinies go get item like, say, Force Staff in a game like this, but Bunions is going phylactery. He's almost certainly going to go for an Aghanim Scepter at some point as well, so he's saying, you know what? If my Earth Spirit is an Earth Spirit, he's struggling a little bit death-wise, I can be that, that 3rd big DPS hero with the Razor and, of course, with the Weaver. Speaking of Weaver, he's got the BKB finished. He's going for a Crystallis for the critical damage. Not quite sure what he'll do. Perhaps it'll be a straight David Source after that. Perhaps it won't be. We shall see. Dire go through the Twin Gate. Radiant, they scan Roshan, expecting a Roshan play. Instead, it's going to be hunting for kills rather than hunting for Roshan. Rice Boy rolls into his own jungle, finds Scroomlight. Scroomlight almost certainly will die here. Roll forward, hits. Torrent Storm has been used by Scroom. It's stunning a lot, but there's no way out. But it's buying time for the Radiant team to arrive. Power shot from Sev, followed up a bunch of Keelan damage to secure the kill on Razor. So ends up being a 2-for-1 so far, with Pisha for Keelan and Scroomlight, but again, that appears to be the end of our fight. It is technically a win, though, a relatively minor one, for the side of Bloosher, that 2-for-1. Picking up an extra support for their core trade there. So I'm looking back at this this Froggy 2 Demon Dog, aka Andy Bendy Alchemist again. He went for only the 1 Aghanim Scepter. He's going to go for a more standard Alchemist build beyond that. He's already purchased the Manta. He's going for an Assault Cuirass. Again, very standard core alch items. Perhaps after that AC, then I'll go for a second Aghanim Scepter. Looking at these heroes, again, Scroom already purchased his. That'd be the one other Ags you really would need is that Kunkka Ags, but again, given he's already purchased it, the need isn't as dire. We'll see a 5v5 fight at the Roshan pit. Roshan's half HP. Rice Boy kicks it forward, rolls away to get X marked back. The Tor, I believe, technically hits. And now it's into the tidal wave. Rice Boy's half HP held magnetized. Bunyan's arrives. But his initiation has not done much so far. Keelan is the trade. Andy Bendy's looking for patience. Patience is low. Ice Yeti's looking to fight. He'll use the timelapse. He'll use the BKB. Patience is already dead. And Bunyan's is dead as well. So it's 3 for 1. Yeti is trying to find whatever he can, but at this point, Bloosher are collapsing. Yeti will run away. Pisha is very low on HP, and we will return to Roshan, though Sev wants to make it a 4th kill. He's hunting for the Razor. Razor will link the Windrunner. Shackle will not latch. Sev has to Windrun away. He actually might just die here. His Windrun will be over quite soon. Pitch has stolen 184 damage, but ultimately with Scroomlight rotating over, it will not be a kill. Roshan has left the bottom lane. He's gone to the top lane where, again, we will see Chambers of Nova resume their Roshan take. He's about 1/3 HP right now, dropping rapidly between the Alchemist and the Dazzle. It should be a secured Roshan take, so first Aegis of the game goes the way of the Alchemist, and that will mean that second Roshan will be almost certainly in the top lane, which... Whoa! They gave it to the Dazzle. They gave it to the Dazzle. This was not an accident. This is a conscious decision. He had the inventory slot. He had plenty of time to grab it, but he let the Dazzle grab it anyways. So this is a bold decision from Chambers of Nova. Bottom lane, Scroomlight gets gone on, and he barely keep it away in time. The Mud Golem was not quite in range to use the Hurl Boulder, I do believe, and by the time the projectile was on the way, it was just too late. Scroomlight stays alive. Meanwhile, top lane, Andy is diving the tower area, but he's actually more interested in the tower than the Razor. He's half HP on Alk. Dire used their glyph. Andy's once again hitting it, and he will end up killing that tower. So they gave it to the Dazzle, which again recognizes that not only is the Dazzle important in the team fight, but that Bloosher might also recognize, hey, we need to jump the Dazzle, we need to kill the Dazzle. So far, they've not done a fantastic job of doing so. Roll away by Rice Boy again with that invulnerability state. Andy Bendy arrives as well. 2-man avalanche from Bunyan's. Bunyan's TP's away. Patience is inside the brambles. Seems like Patience will walk away, but again, there's a lot of Radiant heroes still mid lane. This could be a bit of a push angle right now. The wave is okay. And they'll smoke up to have the element of surprise on this wraparound. You see Keelan and Jim, they're very deep right now, looking for a bit of a wraparound play against the defenders. Only key problem, there are not defenders. Looking at Radiant Vision, they see a hero bottom, they see a hero top, they know this defense isn't there, and because they're not defending, it's high ground time. Andy Bendy is there, taking that T3 tower, it's flipped about 2/3 HP. The Radiant wave will go down, the next wave, I believe, has been cut. We see Bunyan's looking to cut the next wave, and at that point, the siege will be dead sooner rather than later. The tower will end up dying first. And again, wait, there's still a creep! There's still a creep! That's all the creeps they need. All they need is one creep to stay alive for just long enough. The range tracks are very low. Pishjo links the Alchemist. Dazzle is half HP, dropping rapidly. Terrorize hits only one. Keelan will give his life. Andy Bendy looks to TP away, and it will not work. So it's 2 dead. And the Aegis will be lost as well. Roll forward by Rice Boy. Torrent Storm from Scroomlight. Radiant are beginning to collapse. Sev now arise with a bit of a pincer angle at this point, but he's too low HP to fight as well. He TPs away on the wind. Scroomlight has a Torrent, hits it on the Weaver. But look at Jim. There is no way he can fight right now. He's simply dead. He lacks the ability to survive. Roll forward by Rice Boy. Hits the Kunkka. He will fall. That's 4 kills and the Aegis lost. All on a very bold siege mid lane. It did not work. They got the tower, but they did not get the racks. So big win there for Bloosher. Look at the swing. It's a 6,000 net worth swing. That's an unbelievable swing. Throw in that 10,000 XP delta. That's a huge win there. And they're not done. Bunions, Avalanche's Sev. Sev's forced to BKB. Shackle Shot comes out. Cursed Crown as well. The Tiny will lose his life. So it's a trade of a BKB for the Tiny. The mid T2 goes down, secured by Pistia. At this point, if Dire Siege, it may be, again, another ill-advised play. We saw the mid lane siege by Radiant not go well, and now Riceboy is forced to BKB and TP. He did TP away in time. Radiant will hunt for more. Sev has Wind Run on cooldown for 1 more seconds. But at this point, it will be a clean retreat for old Bloosher. Assuming you do not count the death there on Tiny. Which I do not. Seems like, again, we're running it down the middle lane. 4 Chambers of Nova. Riceboy is somewhat fine, but the roll is tanked by Andy Bendy. That's a lot of damage. Goodbye, Earth Spirit. And he does not have a buyback. He just bought out for, I think, the Sanj. There's a bit of irony. You buy the Sanj to survive, but instead you were dead anyways. BKB Link from Pistia. Pistia's taking a focus fire. He's forced to run away during his BKB duration. The range racks have died. The melees are still alive. Keelan's low on the HP. He gets graved by Jim. Scroomlight looks for a bit of an X-Mark Torrent play on Yeti. The Torrent will miss, though. Power Shot plus the Poison Touch hit Patience. Patience gets Concoction stunned by Andy Bendy, but is still fine. Melee racks the fall, and a few more hits, and they're now secured. Full mid-set is dead. X-Mark Torrent this time hits, though Yeti is still fine. His BKB has been held the entire time during that that last little high ground soiree, and unlike the last time, we will see a clean retreat from Chambers of Nova. They get a full set of racks. And now, with the racks already dead, Bloosher decided to go to the Dire side Tormentor. They take it. It's a free shard for Tiny, because why not? Speaking of Tiny, he's actually not going for the Aghanim Scepters. I was wrong about the item build. He's going for the Kanda into the Echo Saber, which, again, interesting stuff there from Bunions. Will it succeed? Probably, but we shall see still. Seems like bottom lane, we may have a bit of a fight brewing. Both teams are on the way right now. Tier 1 is certainly not long for life, and seems like Bloosher end up thinking against actually defending in the bottom lane. They've left it, said, you know what? Sure, we are Tri-Camp area, but we don't want to be here any longer. We're going to leave. This seems dangerous. We're out. And they left. Now at this point, we're headed for more buildings. Yeti plays defense. Andy has killed the Swarm Bug and now looks to retreat temporarily until his next ulti is ready, that Chemical Rage form. Forgot the name of Chemical Rage there, might be, but that is Dota 2 for you sometimes. Smoke on up by both teams. Both teams are smoked as 4. They're both headed to the Dire Tri-Camp. Here we go. This could be the crescendo. Both teams scan. The smoke's been broken. Concoction on 2. It's fantastic. Look at the damage. They demolished the Razor. Pistia buys back. Yeti to fall. Chambers of Nova are clearing out Bloosher right now. They've killed Dazzle in return. But do Dire have the sustain? Willow will drop. Riceboy rolls forward. Andy has lost a ton of damage to Pistia. Tidal Wave hits the edge. Sev TP's away. They do have the sustain, and now it's Radiant who are retreating. Scroom is low on HP. Andy is self-stunned. Roll forward by Riceboy. Finds the Alchemist. He'll use the Manta, but in comes one more Invincible Charge. Tidal Wave. It's nobody. TP away by the Alch. It will succeed. Now it's Kunkka, who will BKB and TP. It will barely work. Overall there, a win for Chambers of Nova, I do believe. It was relatively even in terms of kills, But notably, they did use that buyback on Pistia. Actually, it was not even close to net worth lines. A 2,000 lead secured from the fight win there. But again, I guess it makes sense. You kill 2 cores, you only lose 2 sups, and you get that buyback from Pistia. So again, a fantastic retreat from the side of Chambers of Nova. What could have been a disaster, perhaps losing Alchemist, perhaps losing Kunkka. Instead, you only lose the sups. Speaking of sups, look at the hero net worth on the left side of the screen. Look who's third in net worth right now. Third in net worth. It's our 5 support Dazzle. So again, part of that is being given the free Aghanim Scepter from from the Alchemist. Speaking of free Aghanim Scepter, 1 has now been given to Sev on the Windrunner as well, but you see a 5-sub Dazzle, number 3 in net worth. It makes you laugh a little bit, that's for sure. Top lane, Rice Boy is forced to BKB. It'll silence the Alk. Alk is fine for now. He's got Chemical Rage in 15. Seems like when the Chemical Rage is up, we'll be headed high ground again, perhaps. Or perhaps not. Bloosher, play split Dota. And it seems like Chambers of Nova want to head the direction of the Roshan pit. Roshan is alive. He is in that top side pit right now, waiting to once again be destroyed. Can you look at these gym teams? And they love to take Roshan. Mid lane, Sev has extended a bit far. He can BKB TP if he wants to. Again, with that Aghanim Scepter, the invisibility via the wind run keeps him alive. The detection was mostly lacking there, but having played with Jim on a team before, what I can say is he puts a lot of emphasis on the Roshan as an objective. He loves taking a Roshan. He loves camping it out early when possible. He's a man who keeps it in the front of his mind, and I guess when you're grabbing Aegis twice, you might as well keep it at the front of your mind. Yeah, that is one of the big things that you see. Like, sometimes you ask yourself, what's the big difference in terms of like pro level play and lads games, which are they're very good Dota players, 99.9% percentile Dota players, but they're not pro players. They're high level amateurs. And the difference is there's 2 things really. One of them is pace of play, and the other one, of course, is Roshan. The pro players, which Jim has been as of quite recently, is they put a lot of emphasis on Roshan. And for good reason. Wraparound gang from Bloosher. They head top looking for Alchemist. They'll go on Dazzle as well. Keelan's already dead. Dazzle has already graved himself. Alk's half HP. He gets forced away. Dazzle tanks a roll. He's standing his ground. Windrunner BKB. Focus fires down to Tiny. Tiny buys back. Dazzle's still half HP somehow. Still staying alive. And at long last, they've killed the Dazzle once, but he's got 1 more life to play with. Razor tanks some stuns. Avalanche on 2 from Bunions. Dazzle fights again. Dazzle once again self-graves, but Alchemist has fallen. The Radiant team fight is collapsing. Dazzle has the Yules, but it can't delay the inevitable for too much longer. It's 1 more grave from the Dazzle, but again, there's not much more Jim can do. Jim the Fall, Scrooms on the run. He's been caught and he will be slayed. So at this point, that's a rough team fight loss for Chambers of Nova. That's a lot of heroes lost there. That's a lot of gold lost there. A lot of experience lost there. And despite this net worth lead, it's no longer an easy game to win. Look at the graph. That win probability has gone down by a lot. I think it's actually a lot closer than 72-28. And notice, the longer the AI evaluates the position, the more it gives Dire a chance to win here. So, again, it just went down again visibly. It just keeps evaluating the positions better the more and more time goes on after that team fight wins, so. This game is still anyone's game to take. It's only 1 racks up. It's only 10k with an Alchemist at that, so. Again, this lead is just. It's mostly fleeting at this point. On bottom lane, it's now Bloosher who want to take barracks. T3 tower bottom is dead. Range racks are half HP. Shackle does not latch. Brambles around the floor. Range racks to fall. Patience will What is that thing called? It'll sproink away. Oh, sproink. Radiant leave their base. Sev will shackle. It will not latch. X-Mark Torrent onto Enchantress. That's a hard target to go on for multiple reasons. It's an absolute disaster. Jim has been caught. His grave will end. He's trying to stay alive, but he will not do so. The trade is for Bunions. That is technically a dieback. Rice Boy rolls away. Andy looks to lock down anybody he can. It's a split-up fight right now. Patience is low. Sev is dead. Patience is dead. And Yeti's looking to clean things up right now. Double kill for Weaver. Back to Alk. He's being kited around by Razor right now. Back to Weaver. He's fighting Scroomlight. X-Mark onto the Weaver. Tidal wave to follow. Yeti's so low. Scroom needs this kill. Torrent is dodged by Weaver. And now in comes Rice Boy. In comes Patience. They're kiting around the Kunkka. And he has no friends. They're either dead or in the Radiant base. One more tidal wave will split the wickets. In comes Pistia. The kick hits from Rice Boy. And that'll be a dead Kunkka. And now we return to sieging. It's technically a 4v1, but it's actually a 3v0. Neither carry decided to show up to the siege, because that is Dota 2 for you sometimes. That's a full set of racks taken bottom lane. Looking at buyback status. Both teams lack a couple of them. Again, if they want to defend with Sev respawning, Scroomlight can buy back. For now, though, these mid-racks are once again under attack. Keelan plays defense right now with the Brambles. T3 dies anyways. Jim walks in, walks away, dodging out the plasma field now. Alchemist will return to the base. Concoction, Channel, Dire, Retreat, Yules on Pistia, Concoction on Patience. Pistia will BKB, Shackle, will not matter next to the BKB at this point. Alchemist is so low, he's graved by his Dazzle, but Dire now focus Dazzle for the Terrorize. It's fantastic. Keelan gave Terrorize with his life. Roll forward by Rice Boy, finds Dazzle again. Jim the fall, double kill for our Ice Yeti once again. Rice Boy TPs. It will succeed. It'll end up killing the melee racks as well. It's retreat time. Andy looks to cancel TPs. We already see one getting away. Yeti moves east. Bunions moves south. They're looking to Delta split, and Concoction will be a self-stun for Mr. Andy Bendy. Shackle latches. Tiny certainly will not survive. He's got no TP. It's on cooldown for 40 seconds. So again, technically a dieback for Bunions. He lacks a buyback right now, but again, the damage is massive. It's bottom racks. It's middle melee racks. And you get a couple of buybacks, I believe. Correction, only one buyback on the Dark Willow. So we're in this very tense game state right now where both teams are one bad fight away from losing the game. A number of these key cores, luckily, do have buyback ready to go. And by a number, I mean literally all 6 of them. All 6 cores have buyback. None of the 4 subs do. 3 of the subs, Tiny, Ench, and Willow, have it on cooldown. Dazzle simply lacks the gold right now. And again, we'll head back on over to another siege. Razor is dead for 30, and they know Tiny doesn't have buyback, so they're fighting 5v4. T3 bottom gets glyphed by Bloosher. Bramble on Patience. He's got the aesthetics cap to keep him a little bit A-okay. He now sprinks away. T3 dead. Range racks down. He moved to the melees, but he's taking a bit of damage from the Ench right now. Between the Swarm and the Ench, it's fantastic. Torrent Storm from Scroomlight allows Radiant to retreat. It's a full set of racks grabbed bottom lane, and we are in this fantastically odd situation where both teams have grabbed some barracks in 2 lanes. Radiant have grabbed 2 full sets. Dire have grabbed a set and a half. And they're in the same lanes, so again, the equilibrium is going to be somewhat even. It'll be a slightly favored equilibrium situation for Radiant mid. But again, of any of the 3 lanes, the mid equilibrium is the least important, one may argue. Because again, it's a lot easier to push in the mid when you're sweeping from side to side, as either team could do here. Yeah, much shorter lane mid than it is in either of the side lanes. Roshan will be dead for a little bit longer, But how much longer, we don't quite know. Could be anywhere from 10 seconds to 3 minutes. We shall see right now. How long will it be? Oh, it's literally 12 seconds! That is an incredibly early Roshan respawn. That is in about the earliest possible 4% of the respawn time. Neither team quite knows that yet, but if Bloosher decide to, meander on over from their top lane siege, head to the Roshan, through the Twin Gate to the other Roshan pit, they say, oh, Roshan's here. Only problem is, they'll probably wait for it to respawn, or not respawn, but I should say move through the Twin Gate up to the top lane, play, the minute 45 nighttime Roshan. Again, from a sort of probabilistic perspective, the odds of it spawning top were incredibly high, so neither team was really relying on it spawning bottom. They knew it was possible, of course, but again, they're expecting it to be a top-side Roshan. And that will be the case once Roshan goes through the gate. You look at the vision. There's a ward here at the Tri-Camp. There's one here at the Twin Gate. Bloosher, they're in a pretty good spot to play this Roshan pit once he's top lane. And of course, I'd mentioned Jim, his emphasis on the Roshan. Now his team has smoked up as now 5. And they are headed, of course, to the top lane towards Roshan. Looking at Radiant Vision, they see nothing, which means they're probably in the Roshan pits. Looking at Roshan himself, he's about 3/4 HP. He's dying fairly quickly, but is it quickly enough? Radiant scan, they know what's happening. Roshan's low. Pishtya tanks the smoke gank. Razor is a tanky man. He BKBs. Yeti is still killing Roshan. Riceboy BKBs as well. Jim has to force out the way, and Roshan is secured by Yeti. 2 lives for Weaver. Sev is fighting a Pishtya, and at this point, it's only a dead Riceboy. Pishtya is very low. Sev wants to secure the kill, and he ends up getting it. Razor's forced to buy it back. Earth Spirit is now bought back. Patience is dead. He's got no buyback, so despite killing Roshan, Dire are bleeding an immense amount of blood right now. Yeti will use his time-lapse. Shackle is blocked with a BKB from Bunions. He'll use that Aghanim Scepter Tree Volley, kill him to fall. Tidal Wave ends up hitting the Weaver, and Weaver will lose 1 life. Andy Bendy now moves to Weaver. Weaver goes invis with Shikuchi, but they're hunting him. His Shikuchi's over. The X-Mark hits, and Weaver has died twice in this team fight. Goodbye, Aegis. We barely even knew ya. They'll move to Riceboy. If Riceboy dies here, he's got no buyback. That's gonna be a dieback on Riceboy. He's dead for 2 whole minutes. And at long last, it took him 46 minutes, but Chambers of Nova have broken this game wide open. That will be mega. That's probably going to be game. You're fighting 4v3. We see Tiny. He's cutting the wave, but there's creeps mid. There's creeps top. There's too many creeps. The blink forward. Finds the Razor. His BKB's on cooldown. He's got Satanic, but he can't lift it off in time. Down goes Pishtya. They're hunting for Bunions. He's stunned by the Torrents. He's hexed them with the Poison Touch. They want the Tiny. He's trying to Avalanche. In the back lines, Yeti is trying for a kill as well, but what can he do? He's fighting 1v4. In comes a buyback. Ench is back. Tiny is back. They're fighting 3v4. And they call the offensive GG! The bold bad manners from Andy Bendy. The tidal wave forward. Sev BKBs. He's getting roasted by Yeti, but he's invis. He's dusted. He's BKBing. And that'll be the game. Game 1 goes the way of Chambers of Nova in epic 47-minute fashion. Whew. It was fun. It was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Good game. Good game. Good game was had by all. I need way more water after that one. Who was choice for game 2? It is Chambers of Nova who have choice for game 2. Here's what I'm going to do. Usually I would cut to a break, but my break is actually going to take longer than it normally does. I need to both go to the bathroom and get water rather than just the either or. So, because I'm hosting the lobby, I'm going to host things up. And then after the game launches, I will leave you with the the ambient sounds of the draft. Of course, I'll be back in probably 3-4 minutes after the draft starts. It's not like my draft analysis is that good, anyways, so you won't be missing out on all that much. Hiccup. So it's first pick chosen by Chambers, Radiant chosen by Bloosher. And my lobby settings are correct, so whenever the teams are ready, I'll be ready. I'll give him a G. Either way, I'm going to cut to a break. I'll see you for game 2 of Chambers of Nova taking on old Bloosher in a few more minutes.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team remaining. Ban. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Mareska has arrived.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Timber saw!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Greetings and salutations again. We are back for game number 2 of Chambers of Nova, taking on old Bloosher. Went to the bathroom, got some water. Should be good to go now for G2.
Seconds remaining.
Seems like some draft has happened. Not that
5 seconds remaining.
not that you necessarily needed me to see all that, but it has been on your screen if you cared about that one. Bans. Hoodwink, Furion, Kunkka, DK, Meepo, Nyx, Assassin, Disruptor, Tiny, Lifestealer, Razor, largely the same bands as Game 1. Only some minor variations to it. 8-pick Dark Willow again, more Dark Willow. For Chambers of Nova, the response is Magnus. 13-pick Phoenix, 14-15 Timbersaw Snapfire, 16 Ursa.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
mentioned last game that, Weaver, one of those Ice Yeti classics. Well, Ursa's another one of those verified Ice Yeti classics. You're thinking like Ice Yeti classics, you're thinking Weaver, you're thinking Ursa, you're thinking CK. Maybe at this point you start thinking about like a Sen and a Luna type hero as well, but those are my 3 classic Yeti heroes in my brain. 17 as well will be the Zeus. So again,
10
more
seconds remaining.
heroes selected.
5 seconds remaining.
I suspect this will be a support Snapfire for Jim, so a 5 support Snapfire. I don't honestly know who's going to play the Timbersaw for Chambers of Nova. It's probably Seth. I don't think either of these cores are super huge Timbersaw players.
Dire team ban.
Face the light.
And that's our answer. It'll probably be a mid Timbersaw and an offlane Dawnbreaker. Hypothetically, there's a lot of ways you can orient these heroes still. Support Dawnbreaker, core Snapfire, Timbersaw in either core role. But, again, say if there's like pattern on this team, this Dire team, I'd say, okay, it's definitely mid Dawnbreaker. That guy's a Dawnbreaker mid specialist. That dude plays it really well. But most players are not huge Dawnbreaker mid enthusiasts. Therefore, again, I suspect it'll be the core still. Probably the offlane core. Actually, maybe it's I don't know. I feel like Dawnbreaker offlane is super bad into Ursa, right?
Radiant team.
So maybe it's like Timbersaw mid, Dawnbreaker sup, Snapfire 3. Maybe Snapfire mid, Timbersaw 3, Dawnbreaker sup. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. I have no idea. I probably should know, given I'm actually kind of a veritable expert on these these dire team players, but I just don't know.
5 seconds.
Apparently, even the experts are baffled in this case. Ay, 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 ay. Look at the bands. Arc Warden banned out. Faceless Void banned out. I think he's Outworld Devourer again. OD banned out. Outworld Destroyer, my bad. Outworld Destroyer banned out. Now Sniper also banned out. So apparently they think Zeus is not mid. Because if they thought Zeus is mid, they wouldn't ban out OD and Sniper.
10 seconds.
Whether or not they'll be right about that, we shall see. I suspect it'll be a Zeus mid,
5
but
seconds remaining.
what do I know? Maybe they're just like covering their Timbersaw pick, saying, you know what, if it's Zeus not mid. I don't know. I'm not really entirely sure again. I'm once again speculating beyond my level of certainty. I guess I could just keep speculating. I'm not legally obligated to not speculate, so. Either way, not much reserve time left for the side of Chambers of Nova. They're down to 5 seconds.
Radiant team pick.
And it'll be the... Whoa. Okay. That's not what I expected. That's a Centaur War Runner. That's almost certainly the offlane selection. Which means...
10 seconds remaining.
Mid-snap Carry Timber Willow Dawn
5
Sups?
seconds remaining.
Oh god, I have no idea what that means. Bloosher have a minute of reserve time to figure out what this means. Hopefully, for Rice Boy's sake, he's more able to figure it out than I am. I'm lost. I am lost right now. I am literally lost. Ay, ay, ay. 33 seconds left. At this point, I'm sure you got whatever solid hero you want. And one that's ready to battle. Because this dire lineup, it's going to battle. They're going to brawl. They're going to run at you. They're going to just dive you. They're going to go. And this is a brawling lineup. Like, you don't pick this lineup to go 60 minutes. Again, I guess they got sick enough of these late games, right? Look at the last game they played. It went 47 minutes. Last series, both games went around an hour. So maybe like, you know what? Screw it.
Choose your
We're tired of these late games. We're gonna... What? What? So mid-lesh, I think that makes sense. You put the Zeus on sup. You keep the mag core. That's perfectly fine. It's Centaur support? What? So, let me get this right. It's carry Snapfire, mid lane Dawnbreaker, off lane Timbersaw, supports Dark Willow, and Centaur War Runner. Actually, it kind of makes sense. In the lane, you cookie forward the Centaur. He's got the hoof stomp. Wait a minute, this actually works. It actually works. It's wild. It's unorthodox. It is perhaps unprecedented, but it works. Because you've seen this duo before in the off lane. Snap Centaur. Usually you play Centaur Core Snap Sub, but the duo, it works. It just works. Man, some real wild stuff from the mind of Salivating Salamander 37. Unbelievable. It is beyond the comprehension of mere mortals, but I like their draft a lot here. I think it's going to be 2-0 for them. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of Chambers of Nova versus Old Bloosher in this season 15 League of Lads group stage 2-game series. Chambers of Nova, they won game 1, took them 47 minutes. It was a very competitive game, and ultimately those late game fights simply went their way at the very end. For Bloosher, of course, they probably go in as the odds-on favorites. They'll look to at least make it a 1-1 draw instead of the 0-2 upset loss. You look at Chambers. They have invaded the Dire jungle. Look at this ward. So there's one big thing. I mean, there's two functions this ward has. One, of course, is to scout this area here for potential fight. But outside of that, it's a big ward for the cutting and the pulling. Like you say, if you're playing Dire Force Up, you grab the wave here, you drag it on. You can even grab it somewhere else and drag it on. But you have this ward here to specifically scout out the creep movements and the hero rotations and whatever else it happens to be in terms of counterplay to this this pulling sort of pulling motion. So again, it seems like that'll be the name of the game here. Just to I'm sure directly interacting with the Ursa Bear is not going to be ideal for the Dire side. So you know what? Instead of interacting with Ursa, let's not interact with Ursa. Runes go both. Wait. Let me restart there. Both teams get 2 runes. So both sides get an equal amount of runes, unlike last game where it went 3-1. We see some blocking here. Look at the blocking. Radiant went to block, so then Yeti goes to counter block. Now it's under his tower, because that's simply how that works. He has 1 last hit on Ursa, so we'll get 2. Not the end of the world there. Could have been a lot worse than that for the Ursa, but now the equilibrium, it is incredibly far forward. As Dire Wave arrives just in time, put it right over here, and it should be in a pretty decent spot, unless... So Scroom's got 2 creeps under his tower. Uh-oh. It's a little bit interesting. I've missed First Blood entirely watching this bottom stuff. This top lane stuff happens there instead. It is that brawl, the Snap Centaur combo. Cookie, not even skilled yet. Apparently not needed. Scatterblast into Hoofstomp was enough to secure that First Blood on Zeus. I'm still not entirely sure why they went Zeus up, to be honest, but it is what it is. It is what it is. In mid lane, it's Leshrac versus Dawnbreaker. Surely, it's favorable for Leshrac. There's no way in which this lane is good for Dawnbreaker, but I'm sure Dawnbreaker can still get something out of the lane, even if it is a losing lane. So, big level that Bunions wants is, of course, level 2. You get the jump, your game becomes a lot easier. Right now, he's playing level 1 Zeus into level 2 Centaur, so he's going to be losing these trades until he can get the XP for 2. And he gets it now. That'll be very important to get out of the that sort of big old combo that the Chambers of Nova top lane plan on using, that Cookie into Hoofstomp into Double Edge into Scatterblast combo, which, again... That's going to do a lot of damage. For now, though, despite the combo, there it is, Hoofstomp, but it's dodged in terms of Double Edge. Problem is the Skewer is also dodged, so both teams simply missing the spells. Hoofstomp forward once again. He has 2 more hits to kill Bunions. Correction, the Double Edge is enough. So yeah, the Double Edge, it's just 3.5-second cooldown, and in Jim, is able to trade there, smack on down and kill the Zeus once again. And now, because he knows the Skewer's on cooldown, he's fine to fight. Bishja has a lot of stick charges. He's holding them for for now, looking to maximize the value, I guess. But at this point, he's losing charges, and he'll use it now. I believe he only lost one stick charge. So not too bad. Skewer forward, a lightning bolt from Bunions. They damage Mr. Andy Bendy, though they do not kill him. He's still a 3rd HP, he's got 10 wand charges to work with. Looking at his courier, he's sending out the Raindrop and the Tangos, ready to fight again soon. There's stuff going on top lane. Seems like everybody's going to be A-okay, though. Cookie forward. Hoof Stomp is held for now. Double Edge was used. Shockwave misses. Hoof Stomp gets pump faked by Jim. Pump fakes it again. He's walking in, walking out. I'm not sure if he's breaking the Radiant's ankle, but he's certainly breaking my ankles right now. I'm sitting here in my computer chair commentating. Ankles are broken. Double Edge. Skewer forward by Pistia. I'm not sure if that's what he wants. He's in a rough spot right now, taking so much damage. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade. Centaur for Magnus, which is certainly favorable for the Snapfire. And now, again, the fight continues. The Raindrop's doing a lot right now for Mr. Froggy 2 Demon Dog, aka Andy Bendy. Wait. He solo killed Rice Boy. How? How'd he do that? How'd he solo kill a mid lane? What? And now, because he died once, he's gonna die again. Jim arrives, the blood grenade forward, into the hoof stomp. That'll be a dead Leshrac. It'll cost Centaur's life, perhaps, but... So Rice Boy went from winning the mid lane to now he is horribly losing the mid lane. Sev gets level 6, Alti's top lane deal for Pistia. Pistia is being kited around, a few more hits will do the job. He's got Scatterblast and 3 on Snapfire, that should do the job. Oh no, Pistia's in the Roshan pit. He aggroed Roshan, but Sev missed the last hit anyways. So, the early game, it's going quite well for the side of Chambers of Nova. They're up 6 kills to 1. Scroomlight appears to be having a somewhat rough time. Correction, he's doing a very good job, bottom. So nothing's going wrong for Chambers of Nova. They've got more kills. All 3 of their cores are doing just fine right now. Minute 6 rune is secured by Keelan. I am just shocked with some of the events that have occurred. And again, I did mention it's going to be a very up-tempo game from the side of Chambers of Nova, but I didn't think it would be this up-tempo. Because this is just absurd Dota 2 that is occurring on your screen right now. And it's once again Wisdom Rune time. Jim runs forward, Skewer goes towards the tier 2 tower. Alti comes out from Andy Bendy. Pistia does not juke it out. The Wisdom Rune is secured by Bunions though, so it is 1 Wisdom Rune for 1 Wisdom Rune. Unlike last game where the minute 7 Wisdom Runes both went to the side of Chambers of Nova. But this time it did result in a core kill, that being the death on Mag. I was baselessly and incorrectly saying that Timbersaw was struggling. Unlike Timbersaw, Magnus actually is struggling. He is having a rough game right now. I mean, of the 6 cores, he's certainly having the worst game. He's not even level 5 quite yet. He doesn't have that much in terms of items right now, so... I mean, Pistia being the player he is certainly will have a chance to recover, but this is not the start you want there. Even Zeus has gotten more XP in this lane than Pistia has, so again, we'll have to see how that ends up working out in the long run. In the river, it's fight time once again. Jim is in the river. The rune spawns bottom. Solar Guardian from Sev finds Bunions, and he gets dropped. Now the Bramble Maze from Keelan finds Patience. Patience attempts to dive away. Curse Crown stuns. Patience is barely alive, but not for too much longer. Jim secures the kill. That's 2 more kills for the side of Chambers of Nova. They're 9-1. The rune did go to Rice Boy. A very nice rune to have there on that Leshrac. Gets him a nice little pack of neutral creeps to his name, but again, we look top lane. Pishka once again is being gone on. He'll skewer Centaur into the tower. TP in by Phoenix. Cookie away by Snapfire. Now Radiant look towards Snapfire. Perhaps dive forward by Patience. Into Sunray. In come 2 TPs. Willow and Timbersaw arrive top lane. Jim is still low. Sev walks in to the top lane to bring down Bunions. They'll move to Patience, who has all of the spells on cooldown. And now his life will also be on cooldown. Timber Chain misses badly, but it matters not. 2 more kills for Chambers of Nova. They're up 11 kills to 1. They're up by a bit over 2,000 gold as well. This is a sizable lead. It's getting close to a 3,000. It's a 3,000 lead now. Again, if you watch this team play, when I casted them, if you watch the series, Chambers of Nova versus Widow Willy, that series did not go very well. Game 2 of Widow Willy versus Chambers of Nova was an absolute beatdown in favor of the Widow Willy side. And now Chambers are getting a massive win of their own. At least the massive win is brewing. It's not over yet quite, but again, oh, skewer into RP. Fantastic from Pishka. That's the play he needed. Scroomlight chains away. He'll shock him on the floor. Yet he's still hunting. At this point, Scroomlight will be fine. Meanwhile, in the river, it's a 2-on-2. Now turned into a 1-on-1. Solar Guardian will be there to stun Rice Boy. Sev is taking a lot of damage, though. Split Earth canceled that Starbreaker stun. And with the Lightning Bolt, Bunyan secures a kill on Sev. Patience heals Rice Boy. Rice Boy's duking things out right now, but there's no amount of juice that could have saved him in that case, I do believe. Now, Patience will end up diving away from Scroomlight. Scroomlight has Timber Chain ready to go. He's looking. He's hunting. He'll go all the way forward into the chakram, into the whirling death to secure the kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Look over at the net worth situation. It's very interesting. These are again, a higher number than you normally see on Snapfire. 5,700 gold there. We see a little bit of dive from Keelan looking to go in for Bunions. Not only did it not work, it went so horribly, it's a solo kill for Rice Boy. But that is Dota 2 for you sometimes. So we are back to a little bit of farm states. Our regularly scheduled agricultural activity. For a little bit, it seemed like Chambers of Nova were really going to run away with this game, but again, look at the game state. It's stabilized. What could have been a runaway win is now simply a solid lead, so we have a Dota game on our hands. Of course, Chambers of Nova, they're in the winning position, but it's early enough in the game that it's still anyone's game to win. Stampede has been used by Jim. Takes the shield rune from Rice Boy. Rice Boy is on the run. Cookie is dodged by Rice Boy. Rice Boy is in a lot of danger. Split Earth hits Centaur. Rice Boy is trying to do as much damage as he can. Does a lot of damage. Secure the kill by the Thunder God's Wrath. It is a 1-for-1, now a 2-for-1, thanks to Yeti arriving to bring down Jim. So it's both brothers dead in exchange for Rice Boy. Keelan is low. At this point, Radiant needs to be careful. Scroomlight has arrived to the fight. Patience dives away from Sev. And that'll be the end of our engagement. A win there for the side of Bloosher. They get the 2-for-1, including a kill on the carry and the highest net worth hero in the game in that Snapfire. Speaking of Snapfire, he's going for a bit of an interesting item build. I think we used to see his item build on Snapfire a bit back when Snapfire mid was in the meta. He's going Midas into Travels into Atos, presumably for a future Gleipnir. I do say interesting. I think it's probably optimal this game for the Snapfire, though. I just think you don't really see all that many sort of Midas travels nowadays. So to see it is interesting, especially in a game where, I mean, it makes sense, but the remainder of this team is going very up tempo. Speaking up tempo, they catch Rice Boy near the Radiant's tier 2 bottom, and with the Willow and the Dawnbreaker and the Centaur, they eviscerate Rice Boy. So now, again, it's more farming time. Yeti on the Ursa Bear has acquired a Battle Fury. He'll acquire a Wisdom Root, and quite soon he could acquire Roshan. We shall see. For now, though, it's a 1 Wisdom Rune for 1 Wisdom Rune trade. Seems like Roshan will not be the immediate objective, but we might be there soon. In the Radiant jungle, Dire and True, though they do not do much. This Radiant Ward here certainly gave him some good information to work with. Instead, Dire moved to the bottom lane. They're looking for Bunions. Stampede forward by Jim. Bunions is in a lot of dangers. TP's on cooldown. Now his life will certainly be forfeits. 1 more kill for Sav, the Dawnbreaker. He's 7-1-4 on the Dawn. And again, he's been the beneficiary of a lot of this early game action, because with the Solar Guardian, he's everywhere he wants to be. Again, there could be a fight mid lane quite soon. We're seeing the Dire Sups move through the Radiant jungle, and if they find the right target, then there's certainly a Solar Guardian angle for Sav. Atos into the ulti from Snapfire. Rice Boy is in danger. He'll self-Yules, but in comes Solar Guardian on top of the Yules. He stuns Rice Boy to bring him down. RP on 2. It's pretty fantastic. Skewers and Parts Supernova. At this point, Sev and Keelan are in a lot of danger. Keelan is dead. Patience is dead, though, in exchange. So it ends up being a 2-for-1, but in Dire's favor. Jim runs forward. Hoof stops Ursa. Ursa popped the ulti in time. Now a 2-for-2 trade. Both teams lose 2. Andy, Cookie's forward, looking for Ursa. The skewer on 2 gets him away from the Ursa. Now Timbersaw arrives. Ursa is dead. Snapfire is dead. Dawnbreaker is dead. It's a 3-for-4. Scroomlight looks to clean things up. Chakram doesn't do all that much so far. Pistia has Skewer in 3. Scroomlight uses the blade now, but again, the chain has missed my Scroomlight. And in come the TPs. The 4-for-3 is about to turn into a 5-for-3. 1 more chain. This time, the stun canceled its. Scroom is still running. Pistia has Blink Skewer. He blinks, and he skewers. Stampede was used, but Shockwave secures the last hit. Jim wants a counter kill. Hoof stomp, but the Split Earth prevents Double Edge. Double Edge still comes out anyway. It's now a 4-for-5. Keelan is low. Jim is dead. Make it a 4-for-7 win for the side of Bloosher, securing 7 kills in that team fight in exchange for 4 of their own. Hold that thought, because we're still not done. Because Sev TP's in, thinks he can get some kills, instead gets instantly slapped on down, back to the grave for the 2nd time this fight. That's an 8-for-4 win. 8 kills for the side of Bloosher. I'm going to call that 1 fight. That might be multiple fights. I don't care. That's a big string of engagements. Overall, a massive win for old Bloosher. Look at this graph. Look at the graph. Bad news for Chambers and Nova's fan. Of course, great news for Bloosher fans. That fight is exactly what they needed. That blunted the momentum that Chambers had. We love momentum blunting. If you're a fan of these competitive games, the question now becomes, if you are Chambers of Nova, how exactly do you sort of restart the engine? Is it going to be farming? What will it be? Keelan, he's been caught in his own jungle. Stampede defensively has been used. So we see a bit of an exchange of spells. Scroomlight walks in, blinks away, so both teams, they do a decent bit of stuff, but ultimately nobody dies. Gotta pour a little more water, 1 second.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Which, and we are now back from pouring our water. Water successfully has been transported from one source to the other. Blink hoof stomp from Jim into the Atos, into the scatter blast, but look at Magnus. He's way too tanky for that kind of shenanigan-based gameplay from Jim and Andy. The brothers were unable to do all that much there. Rice Boy finds Keelan, Nimbus on top. Goodbye Willow, and goodbye that top T1 tower. It's not quite dead yet, but it's not long for life now, officially dead. Of course, Roshan could be that next big objective. Radiant have a ward set up. Of course, they have an Ursa Bear as well. Bit of an awkward timing on the overpowers. Yeti might just go for it anyways. He's going in right away. They'll have Mag do a little bit of tanking, perhaps, make it a little bit easier. Again, they have 45 seconds to kill Roshan, and they're not going to need that full 45 seconds. That is for sure. 26, 27, 28. Too many Fury Swipes stacks. Roshan the fall. Eda secured by Ice Yeti. And Yeti's having a strong game right now. Mid lane, the fight. Blink hoof stomp from Jim. Hammer forward by Seb. Starbreaker secures the kill. Rice Boy could do nothing but get an edict off before he died. I think he could have maybe went for a Yules, but that does not change the outcome of the fight. There is no living. At that point, you'd probably rather die earlier to return to farming faster. Blink hoof stomp, bottom lane on Zeus. Zeus already used the jump to get away from the hoof stomp. Pish just skewers back the Centaur away from Zeus. So now it's Centaur dead. Sev blinks away. Scroom blinks away. A lot of blink daggers on the dire side. Count them 1, 2, 3. Timbersaw, Dawnbreaker, and the Centaur. Wouldn't be all that shocked if the Snapfire buys one in the ultra late game, but that's going to be a hot minute before that happens. Same with the Dark Willow for that matter, but there are higher priorities for the Snap and for the Willow. Speaking of Blink, we've seen the Blink on Pistia used to great effect so far on Magnus, but Yeti on Ursa also has his ready to go, so, you know, it's a 5 Blink Dagger game. A big day for Blink Dagger enthusiasts. Many a player, many an analyst has lamented the lack of blade mails getting purchased in LADs. Scroomlight, though, buys the blade mail on the Timbersaw. There is a lot of uncontrollable damage this game, so it is certainly a justifiable move. Blink, Shockwave, Skewer, Nimbus, Sev hammers away, but there's no escaping the jaws of death. Certainly not this time. And they even tip him. They tip Sev. What? 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 What is that line from Yeti? Ay, ay, ay. Degenerate Ursa spammers. And that line threw me off my game. It really did. Ay, ay, ay. So it is Tormentor time, it appears. Yeti goes for the Tormentor. He's got a bit of backup, not that he really needs it. That's a free shard for Patience on the Phoenix. That's a nice shard to have for the Supernova, of course. And outside of Snapfire, there's not a great means for Dire to kill Supernova. And the thing, like, if you're playing support Snapfire, it's not a huge deal to hold your little Shredder and make sure you have it as that anti-Supernova tech. But it's a little hard to do that when you're playing, I mean, core Snap in general, particularly a carry Snap who, yeah, has a lot of her net worth invested in making this little Shredder be useful as a right-click item, so I say right-click ability more, I should say, but again, it shouldn't be impossible for Patience to be, no pun intended, Patience with Supernova, wait out that little Shredder, and then utilize it, knowing that at that point, look at these heroes: melee hero, melee hero, melee hero. And with the little Shredder on cooldown, Snapfire isn't the greatest at killing it, so there is some real big opportunity there for Patience. Thundergod's Wrath has been used to scout Radiant, run for Screamlight. Screamlight's chain is canceled by the Yules from Rice Boy. Splitter if hits. Snapfire ulti is there as a counter maneuver. But at this point, it's already one dead core. Andy Bendy's on the run to avoid making another core death. We see pings towards Jim, but Jim's already TP'd away towards the top lane. He's playing the Equilibrium game top. So, as a result, I think we know what time it is. It is time for a T1 tower. Bottom lane, it's a very bad square, but we'll do this. That'll fix it. And then again, there's pretty obvious macro play here. You go for this bottom T1 tower, you kill it, you head on over, and you have the option. You can go for the bottom tier 2. You can go for the Tormentor, perhaps one into the other, or vice versa. Probably tower first, but still. You have a lot of options here to simply play this area, but for now, Bloosher don't like the look of the map. They see this big wave pushing in top. They know their wave's being cut bottom. They know there's been heroes mid as well, although the wave is fine spot-wise right there. They want to, again, mine their Equilibrium game. They want to mine their macroeconomic game. They just want to prevent this sort of bullshit from happening. Problem is Sev gets away from him anyways. Back to the dire. Try can't fight. Breaks out. Stampede has been used by Jim. They're looking for Patience. Patience has dive on cooldown. Pistia has blink ready. Jukes out the brambles. Patience certainly will die. He'll supernova. They can't kill it! Okay, they can't kill it. Little Shredder was ready. Terrorize been used on Rice Boy. Yeti BKB's forward. Looking for kills. Finds nothing for now. Now gets stunned by that Solar Guardian. The Skewer. On Snapfire into a one-man RP. Secures the carry kill. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Rice Boy is in the middle of the fight right now. Looking for Sev. Stun to the Starbreaker, but it's a counter stun to Split Earth. Sev the fall. Double kill for Ice Yeti. Turns to Screamlight. Triple kill for Ice Yeti. Ursa is out of control right now. Brings down all 3 cores for kills for the Ursa. At this point, it sups scattering away. Both of them will survive, but the fight is over. Certainly a win for Bloosher, and again, the momentum, it was at one point was so favorable not that long ago for the side of Chambers of Nova, but it's all swung back and then some. There's now a 9,000 net worth lead for old Bloosher, and this is not the kind of... Oh, the horn toss, the skewer on Jim. Yof stomps, but in comes Yeti, and down goes Centaur. This is not the sort of lineup you can play from behind. And again, they initially played it well. They were in the winning position, they got the lead they needed, but at this position, you play this lineup, one that is incredibly brawl reliant, one that really can only operate in ideal form when it's ahead by some margin. You're playing it down by 11,000 gold. Again, there's just not much Dota 2 you can play here. It's simply not good, because the scalability of this Radiant lineup is so much more obvious. Again, hypothetically, on paper, this Dire lineup scales very, very, very well, but to get it to scale requires so much more skill and execution to actually get to scale the way this Radiant lineup does. The Radiant lineup, it's like some plug-and-play, Fisher-Price, Lego sort of lineup. You put it together and it just works. This Ursa hero, it just works. Leshrac, it just works. Magnus, it just works. Zeus, it just works. These Dire heroes, it's like trying to repair a sports car where all the engine pieces have been, like, pulled apart. You need some expertise to make it work. You gotta put it together. You need to make sure it's all right, or else it's not gonna run properly. It might not even run at all. And they're trying to put it together. The mechanics are at work. They've smoked up on 3 through the Radiant jungle. Looking at Dire Vision, they see nothing, though. Looking at Radiant Vision, they're like, wait a minute, guys. Okay, they don't see the heroes in the because they're smoked up. They see Sev now. It's like, hey, guys, something might be up. We know what's going on. Now they find Bunnies, but Bunnies again dodged at the hoof stomp. Stampede has been used, but it's apparently time to run away. Good TP from Jim. Right idea from the side of Bloosher, but wrong time, wrong direction. Good TP. Regardless, it's going to require a lot more heavy lifting, a lot more expert craftsmanship to make this lineup work for Chambers of Nova. And the big thing we need to look at again is that Roshan situation. Because you have Ursa, it's basically a free Roshan. It'll be alive in a minute 30. Very, actually a pretty late respawn. So it'll end up being a bottom side Roshan rather than a top side Roshan this time, which, again, isn't really ideal for the side of Bloosher. And yeah, we're seeing pings. They know Roshan can be up. They're good players. These guys, 6K, 7K, even 8K. I mean, Jim's 9K even, but they know the time Roshan. They say, hey guys, let's go to Roshan. Roshan could be up. It's been like 10 minutes, guys. Patience walks in there like, hey guys, where's the Roshan? He's just not here. He's just not in the pits. And he knows. You see, look at it. We've all been there. You play support. We've all been there. You sit in a Roshan pit like, hey guys, I want to see Roshan spawn. He can be here any moment now. We got the side by side. We got Patience on one side, the items on the other side. He walked away. He gave up. Okay, he's walking back in again. Oh no. He's even TPing bottom now to go after the Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker is in a lot of danger. I don't think there's a way out there for Sev. He's got no way to live, yeah. Thundergod's Wrath was used to scout. Dire scattering. Horntoss skewer. Finds Keelan. Keelan is in a lot of danger. And now he's in a lot of death. Thanks to Glom for the raid, by the way. Let's do a tie Glom in the chat. Meanwhile, mid lane, what's going on over there? Zeus has been caught by Centaur War Runner, but it's only Centaur. Stampede forward by Jim, but Bunnies is surprisingly tanky. Oh, he is way too tanky. At this point, skewer forward by Pistia. A headband away by Jim. Jim grabs a regen rune somehow. It's the exact 1 in 12 he needed, I suppose. I think maybe 1 in 14 now, regardless. Jim is fine, and now we're back to Roshan once again. He is finally bottom. Yeti says, hey buddy, where you been? You're late to the job. And as a result for you being late to the job, I'm going to swipe you on down. I mean, look at the swipes, 27, 28, 29, 30. It's free. It's literally free. So, 2 lives for Yeti. The banner has been secured for, some banner-based Dota action, whatever that means anymore. But we're going to see that sort of movement we saw drawn by me earlier now actualized. You run it down the bottom lane, you look at the tower, you look at the Tormentor, and again, these heroes are in the area to defend it. Keelan and Scroom play the T3. Sev isn't all that far away as well, but it should be a relatively free tower. Parlay it into a relatively free Tormentor. Tower is already dead, and with the Ursa, it's going to be a free Tormentor. Who's the shard go to? The shard goes to Pistia on the Magnus, because why not? Get him a free shard there. It's going to be between him and the Leshrac. Actually, you probably would have preferred that in the Leshrac then. If you have Leshrac, maybe you can start poking high ground. Meanwhile, Bunions has been caught in the Radiant side jungle by Sev and Jim. He'll end up dying on Zeus eventually, surely. RP hits the Centaur. Sev can't kill him. Bunions is still alive! And the Thunder God's Wrath brings down Sev. And he tips him again. He tips him again. Payback for the offensive GG call game 1, I suppose. So, again, this net worth lead, it's spiraling out of control. Simply spiraling out of control. And again, we're getting to the point where it's going to require a little bit of a miracle to get the comp back. Rice Boy goes high grounds. Dire counter glyph. But the wave middle has not been cut. The wave will arrive eventually, and then when that day comes, they can resume their high ground siege. Seems like Yeti wants to go cut in the wave top, but instead will simply just tip the mid tower. Kisses have been used. Blink, Horn Toss, Skewer on Keelan. Keelan's in a lot of danger right now. Now Keelan's in a lot of death. So one more death on the Chambers of Nova side. We once again return to high ground. Blink Hoof Stomp on 3 from Jim, but well, it seems not to matter. The skewer will miss. Keelan now buys back. It's retreat time. Pistia is losing his mana. Yeti blinks in, slaps down Centaur, slaps down Snapfire, Supernova on the floor, and they can't even kill Pistia. 3 more kills. Ay, ay, ay. Andy Bendy buys back. But both Sev and Jim have no buyback. Yeti's hunting for more. Gets a triple kill on Ursa. Just give him the rampage at this point. Screw it. Just give him the rampage. Lincoln, Skewer, finds Timbersaw. He's in danger. He'll self-yules on Timber. Yeti looks to hunt. Ends up killing himself on Playmail. Buyback from Magnus. Buyback from Timbersaw. Gleipnir on 3. Andy Benny's been hunted under his tier 4 towers. Lincoln by Rice Boy. Thundergod's Wrath finishes off the Snapfire. Timbersaw's in danger. He'll chain away, but it's canceled with the Yules from Rice Boy. That'll be a death on Timbersaw. The full 5-man wave. Jim now respawns. The Hoof Stomp too, but again, there is nothing he can do. He stampedes to dodge splitters, gets dashed by Yeti anyways. Another full 5-man wipe, and they're going for tier 4s. They know the game's over, and the GG is called. 1-1 draw between Chambers of Nova and old Bloosher. So, at this point, we are done. It's a 1-1 draw. I think both teams got what they wanted in the game they won. Chambers of Nova, they had a solid game 1 win. You know, some real late game stuff there, and they were in a winning position game 2, but it went from a winning position to an even position to a losing position to a lost game to an incredibly lost game in about, what, 20 minutes? So, that is Dota 2 for you sometimes. Bloosher, of course. They got the payback. They managed to get the 1-1 draw out of a 0-1 hole, so, you know, both teams, they get something. They get something. Either way, we are done. Congratulations to both teams in the one game they lost. And of course, commiserations for the one game they... Did I say won properly? Congratulations for the game they won. Commiserations for the game they lost. I think I might have said it incorrectly. Regardless, thanks for tuning on in. Thanks to Guam for the raid. Thanks everyone for tuning on in. I'm going to cast your games, cast your tournaments, especially if you want to pay me to cast your games, cast your tournaments. Contact me over on Twitter.com/BadgerDota2 or over on Discord with Badger Pablo on Discord, same as the Twitch handle. And yeah, as for always, thank you for watching and have a great night.